Alright, welcome to another live break. We're here with break number 228, and it is a 23 NRL Traders Titanium mini combo break. We've called it, and it includes 2 Traders Titanium boxes and a Titanium priority box. So plenty of opportunity and a nice little break before Elite arrives. Feeling a bit tongue-tied today. Alright, let's go. Actually, let's bring up the chat. Oh, that's what I don't have, is my team list. Alright. Broncos, Glorious Joel, Raiders, Luke, Bulldogs, Jason, Sharks, Damon, Titans. And we've got that missing an N for Tony. Don't know what happened there. Titans for Tony, Seagulls for Steve, Storm for Riley, Knights for Riley, Cowboys for Joel, Eels for Tony, Panthers for Steve, Rabbitohs for Luke, Dragons for Aaron, Roosters for Jason, Warriors for Jason, and Tigers for Joel. Alright, there we go. Alright, let's get stuck into it. Short and sweet. Gold parallel for the Cowboys. Number 50. Feeling a bit out of practice, guys, to be honest. A little bit awkward. Scott Drinkwater, parallel for the Cowboys. Rising Stars, Declan Casey for the Bulldogs. Jake Trbojevic, parallel for Manly. Right, let's go. Our heroes, Patrick Carrigan for the Broncos. Asuka Poa, parallel for the Tigers. Driving Force, Isabel Kelly for the Roosters. Matthew Tomoko, parallel for the Raiders. Jesse Calhoun, Rising Stars for the Sharks. Thomas Burgess, parallel for the Rabbitohs. Amy Turner, Women's NRL for the Broncos. David Fafita, parallel for the Titans. Zach Fulton, Rising Stars for Manly. Parramatta Eels checklist. Women's NRL, Christian Pio for the Eels. Ruben Garrick, parallel for Manly. Power Heroes, Nico Hines for the Sharks. Stefano Utakamanu for the Tigers. Women's NRL, Lauren Brown for the Titans. Bunty Afoa, parallel for the Warriors. Dolphins, number 8. Patrick Carrigan, parallel for the Broncos. So we will end up with 3 of them. And they get randomised between all 16 spots. Rising Stars, Grant Anderson for the Storm. Taylor May, parallel for Panthers. Just a heads up, guys. With the 23 Elite, our 23 Elite breaks, pick your team, all random team. The Master Series cards, including signatures and that, are randomised as one lot between all 16 spots. I know there'll be a lot of people interested in the JT stuff, so you can still get your team. You don't. That's why Cowboys are a bit cheaper than most. Tavita Pangai Jr. What did you say, Kim?
Would you say that was cheaper
Than some of the other people because they include the JT stuff with Cowboys. Yep. Josh King, parallel for the Storm. Club Heroes, Jojo Fafita for the Titans. William Kennedy, parallel for the Sharks. Rising Stars, Matthew Feagai for the Dragons. Angus Crichton, parallel for the Roosters. Forwards and backs, Matt Burton for the Bulldogs. Haddo Carr, parallel for the Bulldogs. Freddie Lussick, Rising Stars for the Warriors. Ronaldo Mulatalo, parallel for the Sharks. Rising Stars, Selwyn Cobbo for the Broncos. Alexander Brimson, parallel for the Titans. Just another side note, I have started listing the Pick Your Team breaks on the website. They're not visible at the moment. I'm still getting there. Sarah Togatuki, Women's NRL for the Roosters. Cody Ramsey, parallel for the Dragons. The ones that are already full, we won't do anything about them. They'll just stay the way they are on Facebook, basically. But any of the ones that are missing, I think there's one listed that's about halfway full. So we'll list that on the website to sell the rest of the spots. And the people in the waiting list, I will fix that up before I actually list the new ones. Zach Lomax, forwards and backs for the Dragons. Saitili Tupanua, parallel for the Roosters. Hope that makes sense to everyone. Simeon Sasagi, Rising Stars for the Knights. Dominic Young, parallel for the Knights. Rachel Pearson, Women's NRL for the Dragons. Raymond Faitala Mariner, parallel for the Bulldogs. Driving Force, Kurt Capewell for the Broncos. Nick Kotrick, parallel for the Raiders. Alex Johnston, parallel for the Rabbits. Bobby Law, women's NRL for the Knights. Tohu Harris, parallel for the Warriors. Tom Chester, Rising Stars for the Cowboys. Kirk Capewell, parallel for the Broncos. Team Driving Force for the Broncos. Rabbitohs parallel checklist. Rising Stars, Trent Peoples for the Rabbitohs. Jack Bird, parallel for the Dragons. Rising Stars, James Schiller for the Raiders. Edward Cossey, parallel for the Warriors. Season to remember, Taylor May for the Panthers. Jerome Luai, parallel for the Panthers. Season to remember, Selwyn Cobbo for the Broncos. Payne Huss, parallel for the Broncos. Season to remember, Siosifa Talakai for the Sharks. Chris Randall, parallel for the Knights. Got a retirements. Sue for the Knights. Cleary, parallel for the Panthers. Rising Stars, Sesefo Fafita for the Titans. Chad Townsend, parallel for the Cowboys. Adam Pompey, forwards and backs, parallel for the Warriors. I'm having a shocker. Storm, parallel checklist. Driving Force, Cameron McInnes for the Sharks. Dylan Brown, parallel for the Eels. That's the end of box 1, guys. We'll get stuck straight into box number 2 and leave the priority box for last. Rising Stars, Alec McDonald for Storm. James Fisher-Harris, parallel for Panthers. Driving Force, Cameron Murray for the Rabbitohs. Murray Talagi, parallel for the Cowboys. Forwards and backs parallel, Dominic Young for the Knights. Josh Alloy, parallel for Manly. Jacob Arthur, Rising Stars for the Eels. Brent Naden, parallel for the Tigers. Nick Kotrick, forwards and backs for the Raiders. Titans parallel checklist. Driving Force team, women's NRL for the Knights. Aaron Shoop, parallel for Bulldogs. Rising Stars, Isaac Thompson for the Rabbitohs. Moses Sulai, parallel for the Dragons. Regan Campbell-Gillard, driving force for the Eels. Joseph Suwali, parallel for the Roosters. Fanua Pole, Rising Stars for the Tigers. Max King, parallel for the Bulldogs. James Tamo, season to remember for the Tigers. Knights parallel checklist. I was about to say Rising Stars for James Tamo. That's been a while. Oh, Premiership Predictor, number 161 for the Eels. It's a bit funny. Jack White and parallel for the Raiders. Season to remember, Andrew McCulloch for the Dragons. Nico Hines, parallel for the Sharks. Ben Thomas, Rising Stars for the Roosters. Jerome Hughes, parallel for the Storm. Women's NRL, Kira Dibb for the Knights. Dragons, parallel checklist. Zach Wolford, Rising Stars for the Raiders. Adam Fanua-Blake, parallel for the Warriors. Our heroes, Paps, Ryan Pappenhausen for the Storm. Herbie Farnworth, parallel for the Broncos. Chelsea Lenarduzzi, Women's NRL for the Broncos. Isaiah Yeo, parallel for Panthers. Kale Iro, Rising Stars for the Sharks. Cameron Murray, parallel for the Rabbits. Women's NRL, Abby Church for the Eels. Dallin Witeen Zalesniak, parallel for the Warriors. Joey Manu, Power Heroes for the Roosters. Adam Reynolds, parallel for the Broncos. Women's NRL, Brittany Brealey Natty for the Titans. Blake Laurie, parallel for the Dragons. Dolphins, number 15. Please remember they are no longer redeemable, guys. David Clemmer, parallel for the Knights. Rising Stars, Jamin Salmon for Panthers. Raiders parallel checklist. Cleese Haas, Rising Stars for the Titans. Ruben Cotter, parallel for the Cowboys. Keely Davis, Women's NRL for the Dragons. Mitchell Moses, parallel for the Eels. Driving force at Jackson Hastings for the Tigers. Morgan Harper, parallel for Manly. Club Heroes, Lachlan Croker for Manly. Tigers parallel checklist. Rising Stars, Ezra Mam for the Broncos. Milwaukee Fodawaker, parallel for the Titans. Forwards and backs, Blake Brayley for the Sharks. Sean Lane, parallel for the Eels. Women's NRL, Zahara Tamara for the Roosters. Justin Olam, parallel for the Storm. Rising Stars, Ronald Volkman for the Warriors. Toby Rudolph, parallel for the Sharks. QZ Apps, driving force for the Dragons. Joey Manu, parallel for the Roosters. Gold parallel, Jaden Campbell for the Titans, number 7. Damien Cook, parallel for the Rabbits. Season to remember, Dominic Young for the Knights. Hudson Young, parallel for the Raiders. 2 packets left in our hobby box. Corey Waddell, parallel for the Bulldogs. We didn't have any I feel like we've missed something. Oh no, we had the predictor, that's right. Forgot about that one. Christian Mapalangi, Rising Stars for the Knights. I thought we were missing our box hit. Daniel Saifiti, parallel for the Knights. That's alright. Alright, last box for the break. Probably the most important one. And I haven't done top tipper yet, guys, so I will probably do that once I finish taking the photos for the break. Zach Lomax, Power Heroes for the Dragons. I haven't even looked, so I don't know who it is. Asu Kapoa, parallel for the Tigers. Driving Force, Jack DeBellin for the Dragons. Matthew Tomoko, parallel for the Raiders. Rising Stars, Freddie Lussick for the Warriors. Ronaldo Mulatalo, parallel for the Sharks. Women's NRL, Emily Bass for the Broncos. David Fafita, parallel for the Titans. Rising Stars, Zach Fulton for Manly. Eels, parallel checklist. Forwards and backs, Moses Leota for Panthers. Saitili Tupanua, parallel for the Roosters. Scoring machines, number 92, Adam Reynolds for the Broncos. Nathan Cleary, parallel for the Panthers. Rising Stars, Sefo Fafita for the Titans. Chad Townsend, parallel for the Cowboys. Rising Stars, Jesse Colquhoun for the Sharks. Thomas Burgess, parallel for the Rabbits. Women's NRL, Georgia Hale for the Titans. Bunty Afoa, parallel for the Warriors. Tegan Berry, Women's NRL for the Dragons. Raymond Faitala Mariner, parallel for the Bulldogs. Kennedy Sherrington, Women's NRL for the Eels. Ruben Garrick, parallel for Manly. No priority hits yet. Our heroes, Matt Burton for the Bulldogs. Stefano Utikamanu, parallel for the Tigers. Rising Stars, Selwyn Cobbo for the Broncos. Alexander Brimson, parallel for the Titans. Dolphins are number 2. Patrick Carrigan, parallel for the Broncos. Driving force, James Tedesco for the Roosters. Josh King, parallel for the Storm. Grant Anderson, Rising Stars for the Storm. Taylor May, parallel for Panthers. Excuse me. Driving force, Alex 12 for the Tigers. Dylan Brown, parallel for the Eels. Rising Stars, Matthew Feagai for the Dragons. Angus Crichton, parallel for the Roosters. Forwards and backs, Joey Manu for the Roosters. Addo Carr, parallel for the Bulldogs. All priority hits. Just waiting for the end. Racine McGregor, Women's NRL for the Roosters. Cody Ramsey, parallel for the Dragons. Rising Stars, Simeon Sasagi for the Knights. Dominic Young, parallel for the Knights. Season to remember, Jackson Hastings for the Tigers. Chris Randall, parallel for the Knights. Alex Johnston, parallel for the Rabbitohs. Women's NRL, Hannah Southwell for the Knights. Tohu Harris, parallel for the Warriors. Driving force, Hannah Southwell for the Knights. Nick Kotrick, parallel for the Raiders. And our driving force team, number 10 for the Broncos. Rabbitohs parallel checklist. Rising Stars, Tom Chester for the Cowboys, Kurt Capewell parallel for the Broncos. Tanner Boyd, season 2 member for the Titans, Jerome Luai parallel for Panthers. Rising Stars, James Scheller for the Raiders, Edward Cossey parallel for the Warriors. Season 2 member, Edric Lee for the Knights, Payne Huss parallel for the Broncos. Gold parallel, number 15, Dragons Checklist. Scott Drinkwater parallel for the Cowboys. 4 packets left. Rising Stars, Declan Casey for the Bulldogs, Jake Trbojevic parallel for Manly. And our priority club hero, number 6, Jojo Fafita for the Titans. William Kennedy parallel for the Sharks. 2 packets left for the break. Rising Stars, Trent Peoples for the Rabbitohs. Jack Bird parallel for the Dragons. And last but not least, number 16, priority forwards backs, Selwyn Cobbo for the Broncos. Broncos end up doing alright for the break. By memory, that's Mr. Joel. Storm checklist parallel for the Storm. And that is it. Alright. We're not even going to bother tidying them up. I will deal with them in a minute. Let's flick over. As we can see, everyone is loaded in there, ready to go. And this is for the 3 Dolphins cards, guys. I don't know about everyone else, but if I was lucky enough to have one of the full, the numbered sets or the other redeemed set, I think I'd still, for the, I don't know, sentimental reasons, I guess, an unpunched set. So I don't think they're completely worthless, but definitely not what they were at the beginning. Alright, so that's number 1, that's number 2, and lucky last, number 3, Luke with the Raiders. Congratulations. Alright, well, that's it. That's all for this one, guys. Make sure you check out our 23 Elite breaks, and I will be listing more on the website soon.